Hello, one and all. Jasper here with, of course, my co host DJ Fella. I sadly could not find a replacement after last episode, so I'm still stuck with this son of a bitch. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Pretty excited to talk about this episode, aren't you?
Yeah, so well, hey, we should pat ourselves on the back because we finally got and finished season two, because clearly this was the finale for season two.
Yeah, I guess I could see that perspective.
Because it sure as shit doesn't feel like the second episode of a new season. It feels like the finale. You take these two episodes that we've watched so far with this season, you can slap it on the end of season two with no problem. So I think next week is when we actually start season three.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually very fair. This is kind of a finale sort of episode.
Yeah,
Right after the big battle, we kind of have the epilogue finishing up loose ends a little bit.
yeah. And I mean, well, in the previous episode, we spent a decent while like talking about our general thoughts on the previous season and this new season, our anticipations. But since we went over all that, I think we can kind of just jump into this new episode, right?
I don't know, do you want to just give first impressions before we start?
So I will say, first impression wise, I thought that this episode going through it was very like mediocre. Like it didn't strike me as a good episode, but I wasn't offended by anything until like maybe the halfway point and especially the final scene. That pissed me off immensely. But of course, we can go into that when we get to that scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do have to confess, I was at a bar talking about or I was at a bar and House of the Dragon came up, and then inevitably everybody started saying, "But have you watched was it a
A Night
Night
at the
of
Seven
the Kingdom?"
Kings.
Yeah, people started asking about that. I was like, "No, I haven't watched it yet, but I really need to get around to it." So then last night I decided to binge all of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and it kind of wiped my memory of of what happened this episode. So I just have vague recollections. So I'll be kind of getting reminded as we go through.
Yeah. I mean, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, that is a fantastic show. Obviously, I have my critiques of it, but overall, it's just a great show on its own. It's also a great adaptation. I'm glad you finally got around to it. It just took, strangers at a bar to convince you instead of, you're a lifelong online friend.
Well, it's compiling straw that broke the camel's back sort of situation.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. But I'm glad at least you got a bit of a palate cleanser out of the shit show of the previous episode. Or, yeah, mediocre, I think we came to. But here's hoping that was good enough for this terrible episode. And so, did I misunderstand you, though? Did you watch this at a bar instead of at your home?
No, no, I was
Oh,
just talking about it at a bar.
gotcha, gotcha. All right. Well, anyways, let's jump in to this episode. Going straight into the deep end. As we start off, let me kind of wait for it to kind of come up to remember.
Underwater,
Yep,
literally in the deep end.
with the aftermath of the gullet.
Yeah.
And this episode, or this scene, I should say, shows that the other dragon seeds do eventually arrive to the battle. So
Hmm.
technically, the book was still correct to say that all the dragons were involved. So, oh man, I guess I'll have to edit my previous video about differences from the books.
Yeah, they just show up after everything happens.
Yeah, pretty much they're there to clean everything up, or at least
Yeah,
finish off the triarchy.
right. Which, to be fair, it did kind of at the end of last episode. It looked to me like the Triarchy had basically won.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Only two dragons were really a major threat to them because the other one was kind of playing both sides, and they killed one of them. So you kind of did need these three massive beasts to come and start cleaning up.
Yeah. Now I'm starting to think about how realistic is it to do a naval ambush of that scale?
So, I mean, I don't know much about it. Like, it depends like on how long someone has, because the whole thing is like, yeah, you can probably see the Navy approaching a good distance depending on the weather and time of day, but it's not like your ships are going to be lightning quick to react to them, you know?
Well, I mean, even like I feel like they maybe should have known ships were coming in days in advance.
I wouldn't go days. I think
Like
I feel
like they don't have any patrol ships out in the ocean. They're not sending their dragons out to like look around for things. They're not doing anything. They're just like as far as the eye can see is as quick as they'll know.
well, I mean, bare minimum, I'm thinking, given the general location of the Triarchy and where the goal it takes place, I think ships can make that journey in less than a day.
Oh, for real? I didn't realize they were that close.
I think. I mean, I'm drawing a blank because I know like traveling on land and how like from King's Landing to Winterfell takes like a fucking month, but I know that ship travel is much quicker than walking or riding your horse or whatever. So, I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but I think it's close enough to where it might be a day, give or take.
Interesting.
But either way,
Interesting.
either way, as far as that, it comes with, the ships or supposed scouts noticing them, those scouts being able to make it back, which I feel like even if you have like a supposed scout ship that's faster than most war galleys or whatnot, it's not going to be the speediest thing to let you know about it. If a
Oh,
dragon saw
so
them, that would be a
I'm
different
just
story.
looking this up, and the Narrow Sea, they're comparing it to the English Channel,
It's that.
which is, yeah, that is way smaller than I thought.
I
Oh, wait, this is saying the Narrow Sea is 300 miles and the English Channel is 21. Why is it even comparing?
yeah,
Oh, they're saying okay, at the widest points of the English Channel, which isn't what anyone thinks of when they think of the English Channel.
yeah, but also,
Um,
I mean, also, I'd say like the English Channel that seems exceptionally small compared to the Narrow Sea.
yeah. It's saying more like the what is it? The North Sea. So like between why am I drawing a blank on the names of uh between like Scotland and Norway.
Hmm. Yeah. Either way, I think with like their technology of ships, that's about a day, give or take.
It seems plausible to me.
Seems reasonable. I mean, someone could
So
probably.
then my second point would be they didn't have anybody there to send a raven being like they're massing a fuckload of ships here in the harbor.
I mean, maybe.
This just seems like basic reconnaissance measures that you'd want to take
I mean,
on all your enemies.
true, but at that point, it's been decades and decades since the Triarchy has any sort of confrontation with Westeros in any sense of the
Yeah, this is
imagination.
decades for them to rearm.
Fair enough. I might be more lenient on this, but I'm not, a Navy expert like you are.
I'm not making that claim. I'm just
I mean, you've
now
taken schools and classes.
last episode I was tired and sick, so I wasn't on my toes to be as critical as I could be.
Uh, but yeah, so I will concede to your criticism about scouting ships and notifying one another. Though, well, I guess they could send a raven to Dragonstone. Could supposedly like a scouting ship like just have a bunch of ravens on their ship, and then when they see something, let a raven fly to let them know?
I would assume so. I assume like what else could a scouting ship do other than just be faster? I
Yeah,
guess.
but I feel like in this setting, like even like how much faster can you really be? Like probably by the time you get there, that's like giving them what 2 hours of notice.
Right, on a trip that short, being a little bit faster probably doesn't make too terrible a difference.
Anyways, should have had scouting ships in the previous episode, but with that squared away, on this episode though, with the Dragon Seeds cleaning up shit, We also get Bela, who was able to get Jaceres onto her dragon and get his body back to Dragonstone.
Hmm.
Now, I was curious on whether this was actually the actor just playing dead Jace, or if it was, a replica. Because, it's surprisingly difficult to play dead, especially when you're
Yeah.
recording a scene for like hours and hours and hours. Apparently, it's the real guy.
Yeah. He just stiffed it.
Yeah, he just stiffed it. Apparently, like all these, like I don't know about all these scenes, but specifically the one later with his mom, I think that one took like 10 hours for them to film. Which, good God, I mean, Grant,
Because he kept like moving.
no, I don't think it was his fault. I think like, and I'm not talking shit about Emma, but I'm thinking like the director. One or two things. Either like she was really struggling with getting the right how exactly the director wanted it, or the director thought it was a good idea. Like, hey, if we just shoot this one scene for a long time, she's going to become more ragged and kind of like more distraught, more kind of frustrated and emotional, which might help the scene.
Hmm. Which actually, I don't know anything about it. 10 hours might be a totally normal amount of time to spend on a scene like that.
I mean, yeah, but I guess if it was a bigger scene, I might believe it. Like, I don't have a ton of experience, like, in acting. I have some experience in acting. I have even less experience in film. And we would spend, like, a lot of time at scenes, but those were usually, like, scenes where, like, you're in a real place and you're kind of using the environment. So if you're there, it's going to take you hours and hours to like pack up and leave. So you might as well just use all your filming time to get as many scenes and cuts as possible. But I'd imagine like this scene at Dragonstone, there might be like, in a studio or something where they're going to be like recording and they'll be able to move to something a lot easier.
Hmm.
Anyways, that's my thought process. Don't take anything I say in that regard like seriously. But making it to Dragonstone, Bela's being having Jace brought in to Rhaenyra, and we have I think Sir Laurent. And I will say I'm very disappointed that we actually don't get to see this motherfucker die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know obviously we had the scene of Emma kind of like crying and losing herself when Lucerys died. And while I don't, and this sounds like a dickish move, like I'm critiquing this as entertainment, not as how someone should react. But I think for a bit more variety, rather than having her weep as she does, which I think Emma Darcy does a good job, I think her being frustrated, angry, and more volatile and lashing out would have been a better and more interesting way to have this scene play out rather than it playing out quite similar to how Lucerys died.
Yeah. And I mean, I was just thinking about it. So we've had at least two children death scenes with Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm.
And then how many children death scenes have we had with like Alicent?
I mean, technically none, because she didn't really give a shit when her grandkid died.
Oh, did she not?
No, she didn't. And Helena, the fucking mother, said like, "Oh, babes die all the time. Just fuck off. I don't care
Right.
how neurodivergent or retarded they're making her. Mothers don't respond like that unless they're terrible human beings."
And so then maybe my criticism isn't necessarily about children death scenes. Maybe it's just about hysterical women scenes.
I mean,
But I when I was watching the scene, I was just so exhausted. Like the season just started. And I'm already like, seriously, we got another woman crying and freaking out and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just I'm just tired of them.
I mean, yeah, because really, the only other one you could kind of count is Aegon and his reaction to his son dying from blood and cheese. Because he was really the only one on the green side who showed any emotion and sadness when his child was killed.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I feel like every episode we get a scene where a woman's losing her goddamn mind.
Mm. Don't worry, I'm sure this is the last kid that's going to die.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, honestly, they can kill as many kids as they want as long as the women stop going so hysterical.
Because I will say, in the book,
Actually, I'm starting to think I appreciate the psychopathic autism reaction.
no, no. Even though I do wish they kind of made this reaction different from the Luceris, put a bit more rage and like violence into it rather than just a similar sad part, just for entertainment sakes. I think this is fine. I've even noticed online like a lot of people like critiquing like this scene in general, like another woman crying, they're all so weak. But I don't know. I think the one moment anyone's allowed to cry and be sad is when their children dies.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like her it's unrealistic or anything like that. I'm just like purely from an enjoyment of the story being told perspective. I'm just tired of all the hysterical women.
Yeah. She does seem to take this a little bit more into an interesting route though when she like tries to speak to Jaceres, like expecting him to just get up and walk around. But I don't know. I'm much more forgiving, and while I think it would have been better had Winsor Laurent offered up his life, that she just taken it then and there, I think overall this is a fine scene.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
Like fine scene, but pretty annoying.
yeah, yeah. What? How dare she? How dare she get all emotional when her kid dies?
Yeah, or just like skip it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, with that, the next scene we have what seems to be, I think, the Valarians kind of cleaning up the track a little bit, and Alan's kind of just relaxing.
Yeah, he's just having a good time on the beach.
Yeah, like all this like carnage is going around him, and he's just like sitting down whittling.
Yeah, actually, I forgot that they showed more fighting on the beach.
Hmm. Which I'm guessing these are guys like just getting on land to escape the dragons, and the Valarians are
Yeah.
just trying to make sure that they're all brought down. But yeah, I mean, I was exaggerating a bit. Alan's in a different part where the battle's not taking place, and he's looking for his father.
Hmm.
Good thing
But he
they.
is, and then we pretty quickly find that both uh shit, I don't know anybody's name. Alan's brother and what's her face are also helping. Oh, we don't get that scene yet. Never mind.
Little bit out. No, the next scene
Never
we're all
mind.
off to
We're
the
in the Vale.
Vale. Yeah, apparently it's a quick little fly over, no problem.
Yeah, barely an inconvenience.
Hmm. And so
And this scene pissed me off.
this scene annoyed me. I don't know if it pissed me off because I already despise this character, so I don't know if like it's just like beating a dead horse at this point. I honestly think that the writers want us to despise this bitch. She replaced a wonderful book character and she's also terrible.
Yeah,
But she
yeah,
ran away to the Vale to, like most women, not take responsibility for her actions.
right. Which she didn't really even do anything wrong. Like yes, it's unfortunate that she kind of inadvertently led to Jace's death, but by all measures, like her taming a wild dragon should have been a good thing. Like she should have been doing the right thing from the Black's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that that dragon then fucking lost control, like I don't know if that's really her fault.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know a lot of people are actually really critical of Reyna like flying into the battle and whatnot. My only real critique of that was it felt contrived of her arriving just in time. How contrived, I
Hmm.
don't know, because how long the battle could take place. I feel like, regardless, quite contrived. But her going into the battle, I think, made sense. I think most people around her character's age would have done the same thing. You just claimed a dragon. You're going to feel like you have a big dick, or in this case, big tits or whatever. And you're going to feel confident in like engaging and helping out, especially when you want to help out your family. So to me, it makes perfect sense. I felt people were a bit too, and this is coming from me, a bit too harsh on the show, or at least that particular part of the episode.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have any huge problems with that. I think the dragon then kind of losing control and just attacking everyone indiscriminately is a fun a fun thing to play with like a wild dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But then yeah, her running to the veil to like hide doesn't make any sense, and this whole conversation is retarded.
I mean, I could believe this from a character that was younger. I can't really buy it with the character that we have on screen. To be fair, she's been really annoying. So she comes off as quite immature and childish in a lot of ways. So maybe it's believable. But I mean,
Yeah, but then what even is her goal?
I
To hide in the veil for the rest of her life with a dragon?
yeah, like I mean, it two things. I mean, the actress is like younger younger than me by like a year. I think she's like 28 or around those. Like here, let me. Okay, so she was actually born 1997 September. So she's going to be 29 this year.
This
So
actress?
yes.
Damn.
Hmm. And so now I don't know how old she's supposed to be, because like
I mean, I
maybe
think he's supposed to be like early teens, isn't he?
I don't know, because like I could buy knocking off like half a decade with the actress. Like, okay, maybe like early 20s. She doesn't look like late teens, let alone mid or early teens. So it's hard for me
I,
to really accept this more like childish decision to just run away from your stepmom so that way you don't get the belt.
I, having had no knowledge of the actress's age, was assuming she was like 14. Because, like, she's the younger sister of Jace's wife, right?
In the books, they're twins, but I think, yes, she's supposed to be a couple years younger.
Oh, okay. If she, yeah, if she was supposed to be a twin of the other sister, then I would say late teens for sure. Because Jace and his wife, I was assuming, were in their like late teens, early early 20s at the oldest.
Yeah, I think somewhere around there. But so I think, like, in the show continuity, that's reasonable. But even then, I feel like that's too old to act like this.
Yeah, yeah, she's still being really dumb, and again, it just doesn't make sense. This whole conversation kind of just doesn't go anywhere. Uh, the the lady of the veil is just like, "No, get away from me," and she's like, "But don't you want
A
a
dragon?
dragon?"
Which, yeah,
And
but
the
obviously
response
you
is
can't
just
control that son of a bitch.
right, and the response is, "Okay, if there's a wild dragon rampaging around my land, there's nothing I can do about it anyways. So
Fuck off.
fuck off." So it's like nothing was actually accomplished by the conversation. And if she actually does intend to just live as like a wildling in the Vale, then that is completely unhinged.
I mean, to be fair, they do have wildlings in the Vale.
Maybe that's going to be her arc. Maybe she joins a group of wildlings and becomes the wildling dragon master.
I mean, they're not following the book, so anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Luckily, we get a better scene where we kind of see the Rivermen partying and having a good time with Daemon after their victories against the Lannisters.
Mm-hmm. And I do always appreciate these scenes that show like how good Damon is about like being one of the boys.
right? Like, I mean, he's not all that great with like the actual politicking and whatnot, because there's a reason why like all the River Lords like kind of really fucking hated him before the fighting really kicked off. But once like shit hits the fan, he's able to like he's pretty charismatic. Like Matt Smith as Damon has always been charismatic in this show, but Damon the character, like when it comes to like more grisly aspects, is able to fit in quite well.
Yeah, and I think this scene does a good job of reminding us of that like when Damon is actually like a leader of a like battle unit, uh he gains a lot of respect, which becomes relevant again later in the episode with the gold cloaks.
We'll talk about that
Well,
later.
I'm not saying let's jump to that right now, but I'm just saying that it does, I think, kind of act as a nice little subtle reminder there.
It. I would have preferred it being a little less subtle. Like, we'll get to that when we get to that. But Damon gets a little letter to tell him the news that his stepchild is dead
Hmm.
and that he must head south in order to help take King's Landing. But yeah, this I think was really good. Like, maybe not really good, but like, I enjoyed it. Wasn't that bad.
Yeah, yeah, this is one of the better scenes of the episode, I think.
Yeah. Though it does get a little weird with I guess this is technically the next scene, but when he's talking to the witch bitch and she wants Harrenhal?
Yeah, what's that about?
Like what the fuck? First off, she says like I brought you 40,000 Riverlands men to your cause, which I got some issues with that number. By modern Westeros standards, the Riverlands can probably, and this is scraping the bottom of the barrel because they've never ever been able to put out this many men for battle at once. But they should be able to bring out 45,000 men. This is like 130 years before that, so presumably it'd be less than that. And also, even if that was the case, you don't deserve Harrenhal for going to the River Run and knocking out the Lord and just killing him. Fuck off. That's not a 40, that's not a Harrenhal payment.
Yeah, yeah, and just, again, at least Damon's reasonable enough to laugh at her for this request.
Yeah, like what the fuck's wrong with you? But
Yeah,
obviously, this is like I'm guessing sowing in the seeds of a possible betrayal coming up that is kind of hinted at later in the episode. Because Damon didn't give me a full fucking cursed castle. Maybe the Greens are
yeah,
gonna give
and
me that
uh,
shit.
yeah, maybe Green. Oh, I guess yeah, Aemond, because that comes up later. Aemond's gonna promise her hair and all.
Well, that's going to be the next
uh,
episode, but who knows? Like in the books, she's an older woman, so maybe this is going to play more into like his mommy fuck issues.
yeah, I mean, I would say she looks like she could. She's probably the same age as Allison, so I'd say that's probably likely.
Fantastic. But yeah, so kind of, we do.
Although I do want to say, well, we're still on Damon. Um, these scenes are kind of a nice reminder that when he's not just like losing his mind in a castle slowly for half a season, that he's actually a pretty decent character.
Yeah, when he has like other characters to like bounce off of and not just like tripping out on some sort of curse or shrooms or whatever the fuck have you. He's great. Matt Smith like is debatably one of the best actors in this show. Like there's only really
Remaining, I would say, yeah, he is the best actor remaining.
oh yeah, most definitely the best actor remaining. And I think, well, I mean, technically there's one more actor remaining until the end of this episode, but the only ones who I think come close to him or even surpass him would be Paddy Constantine as Viserys in the first season and Rice Ifans as Otto Hightower. I think those are really the only two that like are on his level.
Right, I agree.
Mhm. And that isn't to like, discredit the other actors and actresses. Like, for example, as much as I hate Alicent, I think her actress is doing the best she can with the shit she's given. And if she was given like an accurate Alicent with good dialogue and writing, I think she might be able to rival all of them as well. But a lot of these other actors are just getting crap.
Yeah, I agree. I will say the three favorite like actors do coincidentally coincide with three of the better written characters.
Hmm.
Um,
It makes me kind
although
of wonder.
Otto's been more hit or miss.
Yeah, but it makes me wonder if because of the I because I don't think it's crazy to say like obviously these three actors are also the most experienced of all of them. So I'm wondering if that experience kind of allow like obviously they're also got the most star power. Matt Smith has the most out of anyone on this show right now, with maybe only Rhaenyra because she's the golden child, the golden goose of this show. But I'm wondering if they're able to use that experience to either like get a bit more change to the writing to really help their characters out.
Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say.
But anyways, we get the next scene, and it's a nice scene. I don't think I have really anything negative to say about that, though I'm not going to sing it too many praises. But we get interactions between Alan and Bela in regards to Corlys and their relationship with him and whatnot. And I think this is actually kind of a cool scene because in the books they actually don't interact at all.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, I assume that that's just one of those things that's just kind of glossed over due to the historical
yeah, nature
sort
of
of
the books.
setting nature of the books.
Yeah, like I'm not
Was
I'm not pinching my nose going like they never met in the book, so where do we have this? But no, I think this is a fine scene. They have a little bit of a back and forth, and it's kind of interesting seeing Bela like kind of defend Corlys in his treatment of his bastard sons. Though I will say it comes off like bullshit because they made Rhaenys figure out that it was a bastard son, and she was perfectly fine with it. So there was like no reason for Corlys to like really distance himself from these guys at all.
yeah, but I would still say like even if Rainey's would have been completely fine with it from the beginning, uh Corley still it's reasonable for him to have wanted to not risk anything here.
I mean, bastards for guys like bastards are always looked down upon. Like it's kind of weird. Everyone hates bastards in the show, but like everyone has bastards, or like the setting of Game of Thrones. It's a weird dichotomy. So it seems weird that everyone is so fine. Like it's like, lords have bastards all the time. It just kind of comes with the territory. That's kind of how it's portrayed in this setting. So it's
Yeah, I mean to an extent, I think it's just that because Game of Thrones likes making it seem like I don't know, everything's so
shit.
dark and gritty and grim that like the bastards just become like a super relevant aspect of the storytelling. But like a lot of lords don't have bastards.
I mean, historically speaking, probably. Um.
Well, I just mean in the show in general. There's I feel like
Oh, okay.
for as many bastards as we deal with, there's tons of lords that the bastard question never really comes up.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. But I mean, even the Honorable Ned had a bastard, so surely all of them have one or two.
Right, right.
uh, but yeah, this is a nice scene. They even talk a little bit about Jace. He gives his condolences. Yeah, good scene.
Yeah. Yeah, nice little family reunion.
Mm-hmm. Adam's out flying around, but then we get to see Aegon and Larry's. And now I enjoyed this scene, but I have issues with it.
Yeah.
So first,
Like how'd the pirates get there?
yeah, like I get it was kind of set up because I guess what they're trying to say is that the Dragon Scenes came in, started cleaning up the Triarchy fleet, and maybe these guys just try and fled to Westeros to get away from the dragons, and so they happened to come across Aegon's carriage and save him by accident. Like
Yeah,
if
but where are they? Aren't they pretty far inland?
so, actually no, they are more on the shore.
Okay.
Because if you look up Rook's Rest,
Oh
like
yeah, I guess you can see the ocean in the background.
but yeah, like here I can kind of send you a quick image, just kind of the general layout from King's Landing all the way to Rook's Rest. So they're on their way to Duskendale, which is the halfway point to Rook's Rest. And you can see it's very much kind of like on the shore.
Okay. And then so where's the ship battle happening?
So you see pretty much you see where it says like drag drift mark.
Yeah.
So that's the island that was torched and put aflame.
Okay.
That was Corley's castle
Oh
right
yeah, and then
last night.
there's Dragonstone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like it's just in between Dragonstone and Driftmark kinda?
Yeah. Well, no, their Rook's Rest is on the mainland of the continent.
Right, right, right.
Oh, the battle, yeah, pretty much took place in that general area. Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's plausible
Yeah.
there could be some pirates that have ran off
It,
that far.
yeah, it's possible, but I don't like it.
And in sufficient numbers to kill that entire like group of soldiers
I mean, like
seems
when you're
dubious.
when you presumably you escape Dragonfire, you swim or one way or another get onto the main continent of Westeros. You escape the Valarians that are trying to hunt you down and kill you, and your first action is to like ambush this heavily armored patrol. I don't know. Seems a bit odd. Like I'd imagine raiding and pillaging some like villages with less armored soldiers to kill you, but uh,
Yeah, or fucking try and find a damn boat so you can go home.
yeah, I think there's better ways to go about this than just attacking this group.
Yeah,
And especially like
but
why
they
the
did.
fuck are you opening the carriage in the middle of the battle where you're also just getting killed? Like the guy opens the gate, goes, "What have we here?" and then gets shot.
Yeah, yeah, that seems like something to worry about. Once the fighting's done.
Yeah, and like Aegon and Larry is like kind of just walking out, not at all worried about what's happening. Like I enjoy the scene, but I don't think it's a good scene.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense for sure.
It feels very
And where does
disconnected.
Aegon say he wants to go?
He wants to go to Rook's Rest at the end,
Oh, where were they headed?
Duskendale. So if you see on the map, Duskendale's,
Oh,
yeah,
so they weren't even close to Rook's Rest yet.
not yet.
Oh, then there's no fucking way the pirates got there.
I mean, it's not that much wider. Like, look, I can pinch my fingers and there's not much land there.
Yeah, yeah. When I hold up my thumb, that's actually like one thumb's length of distance that they covered. No, like I don't know what the scale of this map is, but that has to be several miles.
Yeah, you can like hoof it a couple of miles in a day or so, right?
In a day or so, but it hasn't. Has it been a day or so?
I don't know. Who
It's,
knows how long they've
it's
been looking for
another.
Corlys?
It, what is the timeline of this show?
Like how long this entire conflict takes, or
Yeah, well, so I mean, the battle to me it seemed like the battle in the gorge and
Gullet.
Aegon running away. Aegon ran away before the battle, and they were in a cart heading towards Rook's Rest. and then some amount of time passed, and then the naval battle happened, and then some amount of time passed, and then this scene happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
What
that could
do we
that.
have any clue what those amounts of times are?
I mean, it could be years. Let's be honest.
Well, I hope it wouldn't be years because then they would have made it to Rook's Rest.
I mean, I'm willing to say that it's like we can give like a few days grace period. I wouldn't give a whole week, but
Because if it took them a few days and they weren't quite at Duskendale, then how long would have had to it pass for pirates to have gotten all the way that far south to attack their carriage?
I mean, if we look at the map and we assume that it takes a day to get from King's Landing to Duskendale, that it would take probably like, four, assuming the pirates just kind of keep going.
There's
It would take the pirates like, probably
Has
four,
everything
six
that's
hours.
happened so far this season taken place in less than a day?
Possibly. I don't think so. Because are we
Because
going to
how is
assume that Aegon getting captured and taken off and then released by these Tyroshi pirates all happened in a single day?
I think you have to, or they would have already gotten to Rook's Rest.
Hold on, what does AI say? How long to travel? And
I
technically,
think
and
by looking at a map of their path, I think we're already putting more thought into this than the writers did.
I mean, most definitely. But technically, they haven't even made it to Duskendale, let alone Rook's Rest.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They weren't even halfway there, and yet a fight that took place near Rook's Rest, pirates on foot, exhausted from swimming and fighting for their lives and running from dragons,
So,
then beat them to Duskendale?
so traveling from King's Landing to Duskendale, according to AI, so you know it's true, takes
Mm-hmm.
approximately 2 to 3 days on horseback, as they are roughly 160 miles apart.
Okay, so there's just no way the pirates could be down south of Duskendale. It's just a preposterous thing to happen.
I don't know about preposterous, because
Dude,
obviously they're there.
are the pirates freaking the Flash? Who are these guys?
Uh, but anyways, getting on to other topics, because yeah, it's very contrived for the pirates to be there. Like I said, Aegon and Larry's like entire like handling of the situation feels like a buddy cop show of like, this
Mm-hmm.
shit again. Like there are people fighting and killing themselves around them, and they're just like, this again.
Yeah.
Larry's takes a bird cage and knocks out the poor fucker in front of them, and Aegon just climbs on him and starts shanking the piss out of him.
That I did gain some respect for Aegon there.
Yeah, I mean, unlike some people, he doesn't cry like a little bitch with snot running down his nose when it's time to man up.
Who's that referencing?
Well, someone probably later today kills someone and starts crying and sneezing.
Oh, right. I forgot.
But yeah, but you know what I just kind of realized?
Hmm.
This is pointless, right? Like unless there's a particular, because like maybe something else would come up later. But Aegon and Larry's were traveling, and then they were captured, and now after this scene, they're traveling. Like the only
But on
difference,
foot.
but yeah, on foot and by themselves, I guess, because previously they had the carriage is theirs. That's right, the carriage is theirs. It was just taken over by the other guys. So I guess maybe, but now we're kind of like back to square one with a little bit less in like no, like nothing of real merit happens.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's to slow them down, but the show doesn't really seem to give a shit about traveling certain distances taking realistic amounts of time to begin with, so why bother?
Yeah, so like, yeah, we're back to square one, but now they're by themselves. Maybe that will play in a bit more, but like, I think you could have done a bit more between these two because we don't see Aegon and Larry at all for the rest of this episode, right?
No, that was their only scene as far as I remember.
So yeah, like you could definitely replace and cut some bullshit here, add like a little bit scene that like kind of justifies having them captured, and like add a bit more to their character or something rather than just back to square one.
Yeah, it seems like actually both of their scenes so far this season uh were complete wastes of time.
Mm-hmm. And like I know there's like nothing to go off in the books, so I'm going to be more lenient because we don't know what the fuck Aegon was doing when he was gone. But there still has to be something. It can't just be filler to make sure that your episode reaches the appropriate amount of time.
Well, it doesn't even I don't even know if they're worried about something like that. It just feels like, hey, you remember Aegon's still alive. Don't forget Aegon's still alive. Like that kind of thing.
Anyways, enough with that scene. We're back over to the Valarians as they did find Corlys. And not a whole lot happens, but Corlys decides, hey, now that I don't have shit except my name, let's see if I can get you legitimized.
Yeah. Um,
I mean,
which
granted,
I guess I will say my bet from last episode turned out to be wrong. I thought Corlys was dead.
yes, you are correct. Corlys is alive, and I knew he was going to be alive.
Yeah.
Because there
I
ain't.
can't believe you would lie to me like that.
I never lied to you. I just didn't correct your assumption.
Lie by omission.
Yeah, but anyways, this scene doesn't really hit as hard though because we saw Corlys like trying so hard to get other people to be his heir, but like Bela, she just turned that shit down. Like, nah, no thanks.
Yeah, it honestly almost feels kind of spiteful to me. like, I'll only make you my heir now that we're both
Broke.
basically on the same footing.
I mean, I wouldn't go quite that far. I think it's a little bit of
Yeah.
unfortunate timing because I think they were like hinting out at like Corlys trying to build some sort of relationship with him and make him his heir regardless of that because he was running out of people to choose. Like, who the fuck else? Rhaena? You think he's going to name Rhaena as his heir? Come the fuck on. Corlys has been very
Well,
competent.
I do think he was about to say that, about to offer him his name before the Triarchy attacked and interrupted them.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that that is sort of the end of that conversation, but it is just kind of funny and unfortunate with the timing.
Yeah, I mean, this scene is nice. They even have a line from the books, which I appreciate. I wish they had more and adapted the books. But, I'll take what breadcrumbs I can get.
Wait, this is based on books?
Yeah, I know, right? Sure as fuck doesn't feel like it. But hey, we're back in King's Landing. Alicent watches Vagar fly off, and she decides to go visit the Gold Cloaks, and they're just half of them are naked for some reason.
Dicks out.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I know, like, locker rooms and changing and all that stuff. This doesn't strike me as a locker room.
Yeah, what I also had that question, like, what is this room?
I mean,
It's not
maybe
like a shower or a bath or anything.
it just seems like the hangout area, like the barracks. Which I don't know, at least keep your pants on.
I don't know, this one extra that it like kind of lingers on while the captain shows up. He just seems so directionless. He's just like staring blankly off into the like at nothing in particular. Like his gaze is kind of tilted slightly upward.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't want to look at the actress while he's got dicks out for Harambe. uh,
Yeah.
but so she has a little chat with the captain, and I don't like this scene much. I don't care for it. It's just hammering in Alicent being a traitorous cunt.
Yeah, but I guess that we're past that. Now that she's a traitorous cunt, what's in her best interest? And I think this makes sense uh, in that regard. Like, if there was going to be any uh, institution in King's Landing that would be on the side of the Blacks still. It would be the Gold Cloaks.
Yeah, that makes sense, but I mean, this is me using the books, but in the books, the Gold Cloaks betray the Greens kind of on their own volition. When the Blacks decide to come to King's Landing, the Gold Cloaks are the ones who like decided to switch sides because of their loyalty to Daemon. So it takes
Mm-hmm.
away that aspect. It gives it more towards Alicent. And also in the books, Alicent, when she sees, like, oh, dragons are coming, she's like, okay, let's prepare for a fight. We're not going to go down like bitches. We're going to go out swinging. Prepare the defenses, get the ballistas ready. Let's fucking go. And it doesn't do anything because the Gold Cloaks betray them and, like, just arrest her pretty much. But, like, she had a spine. She had a drive. She had action. She wasn't a victim. I mean, I'm just
Yeah, I
beating a
agree
dead
that that would
horse
be
at this
better.
point.
Yeah, that would certainly be a more compelling character that would be more likable.
It would be a character.
Um, but she's such good friends with Rhaenyra. Haven't
Mm-hmm.
you thought about that?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the scene when they start scissoring. If it doesn't happen this season, I'm very confident it'll happen the next season.
Yeah.
Next scene, we have Damon approaching Ulf and Hugh and being a little critical in their actions, which personally I think is a little unfair.
Yeah, considering that the Triarchy probably would have just completely decisive victory
Yeah,
without them.
yeah, without the dragon seeds, the battle would. I mean, it was pretty much a Triarchy victory. Like, yeah, there was Bela still around, but
But they had ways to kill dragons of that size, so
they did. Like, you needed at least a sheep stealer to be safe and fine out there.
hmm
So, like, yeah, without them, like, who knows? The Triarchy might have made it to Dragonstone and, like, sacked Dragonstone because Rhaenyra was locked in her room and wouldn't have been able to, like, fight on her dragon.
yeah, I guess you can make an argument that uh Bela probably would have returned to the keep, and then Rhaenyra would have gone out and hopefully finished the job. But
Well,
that's still
well, no, it was too dangerous the first time. It's even more dangerous the second time. Gotta keep that bitch locked up.
right. What I'm not saying any of this is not stupid. I'm just saying like this is a potential thing that could have happened if the dragon seeds hadn't come. Because at that point, Rhaenyra is your only option. She's the only dragon you have left at Dragonstone that can do something.
Yeah, so I wish there was a little bit more pushback from the seeds. Just a little bit. Like, I can understand Hugh. He's been shown to be the more polite and respectful of the two. But I would have liked Ulf to have talked back a little bit more rather than just like Adam left too. Like, it feels like a real
Yeah, yeah, to make like an actually good point. Although that does feel out of character for him to make like a coherent argument.
maybe. But like, there were some fucking fawns and satyrs in the woods, Damon.
And they keep I feel like they're doing a lot of setting up Damon being a dickhead is going to be like the spark that causes people to betray the blacks in the future.
Mm.
But when has Damon been wrong in this episode?
I mean, like I said, I think the Dragon Seeds very much made the correct choice in coming to defend and finishing off the Battle of the Gullet. Because had they not, it would
Yeah,
have been
but the
much.
way Ulf was talking, like he kind of deserved a smack in the mouth, being
Yeah!
like, "Oh, there were witches and it was spooky out there." So,
Man
like,
the
you gotta
fuck
smack
up.
that
You
guy.
have a dragon.
Yeah,
But, I mean, granted, like, even if you're right, you know, punching some of your best assets in a war, it probably isn't the best idea.
I don't know.
And I guess he just kind of leaves them with their thoughts.
Yep.
And he has shit.
I didn't realize that Damon uh hadn't like seen this chick acting as Rhaenyra's advisor yet.
Yeah, this is a surprise to him. Though, am I the one kind of thinking this comes off like less though he doesn't trust her and more like he's jealous?
That's definitely the angle they're trying to push.
Like, really is Rhaenyra like a woman worth being jealous over? I,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess Damon's
especially
been
since
after
I
that.
think
I guess Damon's been after that cooch ever since it was born. But
yeah, that's true. But for him, it's always felt more like political, at least up until he saw the vision.
yeah, when he like accidentally fucked his mom.
What?
Remember, like the final vision he had, he was laying with that one girl, and she said like, "You were my favorite son" or something along those lines.
I do not remember that.
Yeah, so like at the very end of it, they pulled the carpet out from under us and or the rug out from under us and be like, "Yeah, motherfucker."
The whole everything that happened with him at Heron Hall is just a fever dream.
It's a
I don't
blur.
even. It was all complete nonsense that was relatively inconsequential to the actual story.
But yeah, but I don't know. Like Damon doesn't strike me as the kind of guy. Didn't really like Damon doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who would get jealous of Rhaenyra being with a woman, especially a woman that he's also been with. Like if it was a guy, I would get it.
Right. It definitely feels like that's the angle the writers are trying to push is like a jealousy angle. But realistically, I would think that just not trusting her would be the bigger factor.
And maybe we're in misinterpreting this. Maybe it is just a plain not trusting her. But also, of all the people to not trust her, I feel like Damon kind of should not be the one because he has the most experience with her. He's relied on her the most, and for lack of a better, like he's trusted her. He's put more faith in her than other characters.
Well, didn't she betray him?
Did she?
I thought that that was the thing that happened.
Or like she assisted him with blood and cheese?
Yeah, but then that went sideways, and I think he kind of blames her for that too.
Which is kind of dumb because they put more of it on him because he got his crime hoodie on, which I hope we get to see this season. He put his crime hoodie on, got into King's Landing, and he picked the two guys to go do
He
the action.
Well, he met with two guys. I'm assuming she
Recommended them.
maybe recommended them or something, or set up the meeting. I don't know.
I don't know. They still got one of the kids, so like
That season
overall,
season was like half a decade ago.
yeah, it was a long ass time ago.
I can't be expected to remember all that.
Especially the useless bits that they don't emphasis on. Instead, it's like, hey, that's my wife you're fucking.
That's my wife.
But not a whole lot to really continue on with this scene.
Yeah. And then back over to King's Landing.
Yep. Well, I mean, I guess they do comment that Vagar has left King's Landing, so now they can get plans to head over there.
Oh yeah, Maester shows up and tells them.
Yeah, but now we get like a really short king scene of Alicent walking around and the Kingsguard kind of like seeming to have concerns about her loyalty. Completely justified, I might add.
Mm-hmm. I
But
don't know. Does he have concerns about her loyalty, or is he genuinely like, "Hey, I'm supposed to be protecting you, dumbass"?
well, hey, are you going to trust the person that you're supposed to protect when they keep like getting the fuck away from you?
I don't know. Depends on the person. If it's Allison, probably not.
Allison is like a terrible like the actress is fine. Allison herself is a terrible actor. Like she's not convincing at all that she's not conniving and looking away to like destroy King's Landing. I totally believe that she's setting up wildfire bombs to go off when Rhaenyra attacks.
That'd be a fun twist. Um,
Uh,
yeah, that is a pretty short scene,
yeah.
and then
we're back over to Dragonstone where Damon, I guess, attempts to console his wife by just going like, "Hey, you gonna let him die for nothing, bitch?"
Yeah, I don't think he's trying to console her at all. I think he's just trying to get her to act.
Mm-hmm. Or do something. But what would you have her do?
In this case, I guess take King's Landing.
Yeah, there is a little thing where she kind of talks about Sheep Stealer, and she seems pretty bent on like killing Sheep Stealer and the Rider, removing that. She has come to the conclusion that Sheep Stealer is a part of Team Green now.
Right.
And
Fair assumption.
yeah, and Damon's like the only one who kind of questions is like how the fuck they do that. They shouldn't have anyone who can claim a dragon. Though to be fair,
Hmm.
you guys like just grabbed some bastards and threw them at dragons until it worked.
Right, they could have done the same.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they also are like wild dragons are untamable, which seems like a weird
I mean,
assumption to me.
not untamable, but much more dangerous. And this is also hammered in the books as of all the dragons that were claimed by the Dragon Seeds, Sheep Stealer killed the most, like by a large margin. Like I think it might have been more than all the other dragons put together.
So did they tame in the books? Did they tame Sheep Stealer on purpose?
Yes, Nettles went out of her
Oh,
way to tame Sheep Stealer.
well, Nettle did, but like the blacks were they were like also throwing bastards at Sheep Stealer.
I mean, I think it was a little bit of like your choice. You can choose which dragon, and I feel like Sheep Stealer was probably the last one to be tamed, and so like all the ones who thought like maybe they could do it just were kind of thrown into the meat grinder.
Hmm. Was Sheep Stealer up in the Vale?
No, Sheep Stealer was on Dragonstone.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's just a wild dragon on Dragonstone.
yeah. George was kind of mentioned this in his book, but like that dragons aren't like a very they don't travel a whole lot unless their rider like convinces them to. They're very like, in their territory kind of place. But personally, I was fine with Sheep Stealer like heading off to the Vale because it makes sense to me to be in the Vale where there's, for example, presumably like less competition for food with the other dragons around. Or
Yeah.
but it's possible that despite being a wild dragon, the Targaryens still kind of fed her to keep her on Dragonstone. Because I will admit, like, if Sheep Stealer went off to the Vale, I do not think the Targaryens would really let that happen. Because if Sheep Stealer like laid eggs, like I don't know like exactly how the dragons lay eggs. Like there's some thoughts like maybe they're like lizards and can change their gender. They don't need a mate or whatever have you. It's a very mystery kind of thing. But had Sheep Stealer laid eggs in the Vale, and had anyone in the Vale gotten those eggs, it would be quite disastrous for Targaryens.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Also, we're missing another wild dragon in this show, sadly.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put too much thought into it because it doesn't really do anything. But there's a wild dragon called the Cannibal. Guess why it's called the Cannibal?
you got me.
It eats dragons.
Oh, never would have thought.
Yeah, legend says it's been on Dragonstone since before the Targaryens came, so it should be like a fucking humongous ass dragon. But it's honestly, I don't think quite that big. Like it's smaller than Vagar.
Makes you wonder what the Targaryens are feeding them dragons, making them grow so big.
But anyways, we got off topic there, but getting back to the scene at hand, when Rhaenyra is told Vagar's left, she kind of gets up and then she just lays the fuck back down, like almost doing something. Nah, too tired.
Yeah, and then uh Damon has to invoke the really cool prophecy about a really cool story.
Oh yeah, thank God we still have that fucking prophecy. What would
Yeah.
these characters do without that fucking prophecy? Because they can't have their own ambitions and desires and greed. It's got to be for the betterment of the realm and its safety. Fuck off.
Right, and it's got to be connected to Game of Thrones. It's got to be connected to the hit TV show by HBO called Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
the show that everyone loves and adores.
The show that was great for all 8 seasons, and
Yeah,
everybody agrees about that.
yeah, the definitive show because we're not getting those fucking books, George.
Yeah, the canonical ending to Game of Thrones.
Yay, I'm so happy. We got the ending we all wanted.
Yeah, and I was actually really glad to have this reminder about Game of Thrones because I sometimes I forget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And it's
sometimes
kind of like 9/11. You never want to forget it.
never forget 9/11. But anyways, we're back in King's Landing. So now this was the scene that started to make me really sour on this episode.
Really, this scene?
Yes, this scene.
I was already sour on this episode by this scene.
Well, like I wasn't thrilled about what we've been getting, but this was the episode that made me go like, "What the fuck?"
I
Because
think the scene that soured me on this episode was what's her face going to the Vale. I think that's about when I started going, I'm checking out.
I mean, for the most part, because I already like hate Reina, like it's hard to like. It's weird because Reina's not much of a character in the books, so I'm very like lukewarm on her character in the show and how shit it is. Alicent frustrates me all the time because I actually do like her character in the book. There is a lot of character in the book, and we get none of it in this show. But yeah, like call me crazy, I wasn't too thrilled, and maybe I'm a little biased, but fucking Jasper walks in and decides to be a rapist.
Is this not how all Jaspers act?
I no, no, no. And first off, after this episode, I had to get off Reddit for a little bit because I just kept seeing posts Jasper's a rapist. And I was just like, this is very damaging to my mental health right now.
I
Like,
I
and
just
please,
assumed that anybody named Jasper either does this or they kidnap puppies for puppy murderers.
well, hey, at the very least, I'm not speaking for all Jaspers, but I presume some that I might know would do it in a more competently manner than this shit show. Like he's a and like I feel like there could have been like an interesting thing to do with this. Like so Jasper goes in and he's obviously kind of sniffing out that Alicent's being a traitor, and he decides in this instance, fuck it, let's fuck her. Which because of course we have to make sure and hammer in Alicent is a victim. She can't be her own self. She has to constantly being used and abused sexually by everyone around her. Larys has to look at her feet. Her own son has to kiss her. Viserys has to maritally rape her. Jasper has to literally try and rape her. It's just like, fuck off. Like, they have to make every single person damn near just abuse her. And it's getting old. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%. They've just is Alicent supposed to be like the hottest chick on planet Earth? Like every dude is willing to throw it all away to get with her? Like what is this?
Is this Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships?
Yeah, they're making her seem like it.
Well,
They're making her seem
no,
like it.
no, she obviously isn't because she's not black.
Oh, true. She could never be as black and beautiful a black queen like Helen of Troy.
Exactly, man. I'm not going to race swap Helen of Troy like that. Come on. But
Yeah.
but no, imagine this though with this scene. Imagine like we kind of keep the beginning. Jasper is becoming wise of what Alicent is doing, and he threatens to like reveal her. And Alicent, lashes out. She's kind of the instigator. She attacks Jasper, who kind of defends himself and like pins him down. And then like the guards and the maester comes in, and we see Alicent twist the situation, saying like he's trying to like rape me. And so like Jasper tries and honestly to defend himself, but Queen outranks Master of Laws, so he's taken away. Like I don't know, I think that gives a bit more bite to Alicent, and now she's not of she's not such a useless victim.
No, the fact that you think that Hollywood would ever in a million years depict a false rape accusation is hilarious.
I mean, granted, I know they would never do that, but I mean, it would just be something.
We believe all women here.
Oh God, but
Even if what you said happened, Allison would actually be in the right.
oh God, but yeah, this was when I really like turned on this episode. Like I already wasn't a big fan about it, but this just poisoned the water well and made like all upcoming scenes taste even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even what was the yeah, why would he try to rape her? Why did they feel the need to
I
put
mean,
another scene like that in the
he
show?
just wants
None
that
of it really
ass.
makes sense. Yeah, that bad. That he literally
You know what?
he literally just threw his whole life away for it.
Yeah, you know what? Let me give credit where credit is due to like the writers. Maybe they misinterpreted something for the character. You see, in the books, Jasper Wilde, his nickname is the Iron Rod. Now he's given that nickname because he's the master of laws and he's very unyielding to like the law. He's a very literal interpretation of the guy. He follows it to the later stick up the ass kind of guy, you know?
Hmm.
Obviously
And
they
they thought,
misinterpreted it as the iron rod being his dick, and so obviously he's a rapist.
hmm.
You know,
I think that maybe there's even less misinterpretation needed. What they saw was that he was like a conservative enforce the law kind of guy, and they're like, oh, he must rape.
of course. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I don't like this scene at all. It also like and I might be even more angry if Jasper had a character at all in the show, but he hasn't really. He's had a good line here and there. Like, I think it was the second season where Allison says, like, did my mess has my message any reply of my message to Dragonstone? And he said the consoling of the death of the child. Like he had some good moments, but the issue is he honestly doesn't have any sort of character in this show.
Yeah, yeah. He's pretty much just a side character that apparently his entire usefulness amounted to trying to traumatize the queen some more.
I mean, for Christ's sake, I mean, in the
Give
previous
give a couple more victim points.
more victor points, and also, excuse me, I mean, that's another thing. Like a lot of the side characters need more screen time. I mean, I don't know if you saw my video on it, but when I talked about my issues with the second season, I brought up how Damon, Alicent, and Rhaenyra all have more screen time than Tyrion Lannister did in the second season of Game of Thrones, despite the second season of Game of Thrones having more episodes, so more total runtime. So Alicent, Rhaenyra, and Daemon, when you put all their screen time together, it took up like half of the show, 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fucking ludicrous that three characters surpass what is in part kind of the main character of Game of Thrones after Eddard dies.
And you're saying each of their times individually is more than
Indiv-
Tyrion's?
individually or about because like Rhaenyra has almost 2 hours. She's at like an hour and 44 minutes in the second season. Damon and Allison are both over an hour. I think Allison's like, and I might be mixing them up, but I think Allison was like an hour and 10 minutes and Damon was like an hour and 9 minutes. And I think Tyrion was like an hour and 10 minutes. So they have two characters roughly tying with the number one honcho of the second season of Game of Thrones, and Rhaenyra almost doubling. Like, this is such bad choices.
Yeah, I mean, I would say to be slightly fair, like this show has a more narrow focus than Game of Thrones did.
And that's a bad idea. It shouldn't have a more narrow focus.
Who should they be focusing on more?
Oh, let
Like
me.
just other lords and stuff?
I think,
What
like,
they're doing?
like I think like I'm not saying like Jasper needs fucking 30 minutes. No, but it would have been nice if maybe he got like another 5 minutes or so. Helena and Aegon could use more scenes. If they had gotten
That's
more
true.
scenes
I agree with that.
together in the second season before Aegon gets the fuck out, that would have been nice to have like an idea about the relationship. Honestly, Jacaerys I think could have benefited from a bit more. Bela could have benefited from like I think a lot of characters desperately needed more scenes, but greedy ass Allison, Damon, and Rhaenyra are just horking it all up. Rhaenyra
Actually,
especially.
now that you point this out, uh, I don't think there's even other characters that I could like really like. What's his face? The the sailor guy.
Lohar,
No,
Alan,
his
Corlys.
dad, Corlys. There you go. Uh, Corlys might be the only character outside those three that I have like a really good idea of what they're about. You know, the rest of the characters, like what motivates them, what they care about, anything like that. I couldn't tell you a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cole. I could probably tell you some stuff about Cole.
Oh yeah, he doesn't appear at all in this episode.
Does he not? No, he appears
Oh,
for a
you're right. There's that
very brief
one.
moment.
He gets 5 seconds. He's like Harrenhal, and then they. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that critical moment. Uh, but yeah. So, anyways, so yeah, this was the scene where they decided to make Jasper a rapist. And granted, and I want to be clear, not biased at all in any way, shape, or form. Just I'm a little traumatized. That's all.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're getting back to Dragonstone now after that scene, and I actually kind of like this scene. Damon and Rhaenyra are ready, and they're finally taking action, and they're going to take King's Landing. That she
Hmm.
finally is doing something. But
Yeah.
oh no, are we sure we don't want to lock her in her bedroom just to be on the safe side because of the
Well, to be fair,
patriarchy?
the person the patriarchy died last episode
Oh,
with her son.
gotcha.
Her son was actually the patriarchy.
All right, it was all his fault. The guy who like protected his mom but not his wife.
Yeah. Yeah, he was an incel, unlike Chad Damon, who sends his wife into the castle first whenever there's likely to be
Danger.
knights attacking them.
Got so we'll get onto that a little bit later. But overall, I do kind of like this scene. She's finally taking action, and Damon has some pretty good lines. Pretty much, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but he gives the "Did she stutter, bitch?"
Yeah, but I hate how like nasally and like I get it. She was just crying, but I don't need this level of realism or whatever. Just like have her hawk a loogie and talk normal.
But and they end the scene with her saying that let Sir Lawrence choose how he dies. So I'm guessing we're not seeing it. Like I said, I think it would have been better if we saw Rhaenyra take his life as soon as possible, like right when he offered it.
Yeah, and what's up with the 180? Like she at the time she was like, "What good would taking your life do?" And then there she's just like, "Ah, fuck him, kill him."
Well, calm down. Calmer hills, calmer heads prevailed. Eventually, I guess.
I guess. I don't know that she seems very calm in any of this.
Yeah. Though we also do get that moment where like she is chatted to by Missaria. It seems to kind of like blow her off, and Damon walks by with his shit-eating grin, like, yeah.
Yeah, that is a thing that happens.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird though. Like, why? Why treat Missaria like that so coldly when it wasn't too long ago you guys were feeling each other up?
Because she's upset.
Oh, okay, sure.
She's a woman, letting her emotions get the better of her.
Right. But we also get him, like, we see the dragon seeds right behind them, ready to fly off and help with the taking of King's Landing. And Damon again pretty much like putting Ulf specifically down.
Yeah, yeah. Poor Ulf,
Yeah, he's definitely going to be loyal to the Blacks the entire show.
for sure. After Damon whips him into shape.
It's just a bit of tough love. He'll realize it by the end.
Mm-hmm.
Do not engage in thinking.
Do not engage in thinking, which is, a fair command.
Mm-hmm. Those terrible soldiers when they start thinking for themselves.
Yeah,
Right? But
it's never
anyways,
anything good.
they fly off to King's Landing, and we get a scene where Alicent like grabs Helena and I guess uses her authority to convince like all the soldiers like to lay down the ballistas and arms and whatnot. And fucking hell, Alicent's Helena's like retarded justification to help her mom out is like, I don't want any animals hurt.
Yeah.
Like, is it like I'm so kind of confused? So, are we in a patriarchal society where women have no power and can't do anything, or do they have like enough power to convince an entire city of people to just surrender to their enemy without a fight?
Well, both.
Uh,
You're
God,
trying to you're trying to impose an objective reality onto a subjective medium, bro.
I mean, the
You
show
just,
is
you
only
just don't like
sexist.
understand.
It's only sexist when it's convenient. Okay, just Jace needs to be sexist and lock up his mom, but he can't be sexist and keep his wife from going into battle. Okay, Alicent needs to be looked over and put down and not taken seriously by any of the men here. Oh, but all these other guys also have to listen to everything she says and does, even if Helena's doing her retarded ass protect the animals bullshit. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I
The
get.
more that we're talking, the more I'm starting to think the show might actually just hate women
God,
because it doesn't make them look good.
I am kind of playing with the idea and making plans on making a video because I did a video talking about female characters in Game of Thrones and like whether they were good female characters or good characters that happen to be female, and I came to the conclusion that pretty much almost all of them were good female characters. But these, I think I have to make the opposite. I have to point out that not only are these bad characters, they are also bad female characters.
Yeah, because is there a single female character that's I mean, really the only two that have been developed are Alicent and Rhaenyra. Oh, and what's her face that died?
Rainey's.
Um, Rhaenys.
Rainey's was, I want to say like Rainey's was the only like, and I'm not even calling her good because she wasn't, but like I think she might honestly be the best female character in this show.
Yeah,
Like,
and she committed mass murder
what
for,
competition
for
does
no
she?
reason.
What competition does she have? I mean, maybe Bela, but there's like not a whole lot to her.
Yeah, she's like not really a character. She's just kind of a thing that walks around.
I mean, you know, funny enough, like, her character felt very conjoined at the hip to Jace.
Yeah.
So it's just like, she didn't, when Jace needed her, she was there, but she herself could not be there for herself. Which now that he's dead, maybe she'll have a bit more and things will change.
But that's a because like I didn't know Jace was gonna die, so I just assumed that she was a character to play off Jace. Like that was her character to me. But no, if you're the writer and you know that Jace is gonna die, you might want to develop her a little bit.
You
You
want
might want to have her have some characteristics that are separate from Jace.
you might also want to have some more development between the two of them. Like I know there were some scenes in the second season with Jason Bela, but honestly, by the end of it, I don't really buy the whole like she's sad that he's dead because I felt like there wasn't enough between the two.
Well, to be fair, she didn't seem that sad that he was dead.
Well, she had a pouty face.
Yeah, but then she seemed pretty fine when she was talking to Alan.
Mm. Anyways, off the female characters, now we're in a testosterone male only, where Vagar and Aemond attack Harrenhal.
And this is really something.
It is something is a term that can be used. Why is it that all of these fucking dragon riders, emphasis on riders, keep getting off their dragon?
Well, to be fair, up until now, it's worked really well for them.
It's the thing. It shouldn't have. It shouldn't be
It,
working so well for
it
them.
shouldn't have ever worked. And at least someone finally gets punished for it, I guess.
But it's not even really punished in the right way. Uh, and I,
Yeah, I mean, he should have gotten like ganged up on by like three soldiers and killed
yeah,
instantly.
yeah. And the fight choreography, like, it's just, I mean, it's serviceable, but like, obviously not at all realistic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's typical
It's
medieval.
lots of spinning, lots of going through arm. Like, to be fair, he is using a Valerian steel sword, but they're not lightsabers. They don't just puncture armor like it's made of cloth. They're better than swords, but not significantly more so.
Clearly you're wrong.
Clearly. Anyway, so we kind of get almost like a repeat of when Damon showed up and the Strongs
Hmm.
are there. They're just like, all right, time to switch sides again. Though
Well,
Aemon,
except for when Damon showed up, they legitimately like weren't even really trying to defend the castle.
well, Damon knocked out like one guy.
But this time they are trying to defend the castle, and uh, for some reason, there's they can never get more than one guy to attack Aemond at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, completely impossible. But anyways, Aemon pretty much puts all three of these Strongs to death. Like he cuts down the old guy. One of them goes, "Father!" And Damon like kills him. And then like the last one finally decides to take action and stabs Damon through his armor with a fucking kitchen knife or some shit.
Yeah, what kind? It is like a kitchen knife, isn't it?
Like maybe it's a dagger that he kept on him, but like, God, this is just pathetic. It makes everyone in here look incredibly incompetent. Because why the fuck aren't either of you acting? Why don't you act in this 5 second situation as he slowly approaches your brother?
Well, and it's like I'm supposed to believe that when Damon's fighting three well-armed soldiers that are attacking him with the intent to kill him all at once, he can like do a bunch of fancy spin moves and deal with it effortlessly. But when he's slaughtering three barely armed men, he's so inattentive that he lets one stab him in the back.
Yeah,
Like, which is it?
my God. And of course, like, oh, it's such a grievous wound now. Oh, now this shit's gonna be realistic. Oh, he collapses from it, and he needs, I think it's Alice Rivers to save his life.
Yeah.
Just what the fuck? What the fuck
Which
is
again, it's
this?
like, what did you expect going into a castle by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You
Eh,
thought nobody would land a single blow on you? Like what?
aye, aye. And then the dragons arrive, and we see like they still kind of have the ballistas ready, and then these other guys are just like hold your fire and all that shit. Like I don't know, like it just seems so shit. Like, granted, if they were to fight, they wouldn't have really any chance because they have no dragon riders. Helena's the closest one, and she doesn't really ride.
Yeah.
But like, oh god, just the fact that this is all Allison's doing pisses me off.
And the fact that I don't like how low the dragons are flying.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they wanted the like cool shots from like King's Landing looking up at them, but like especially the seedlings, you'd think they'd want to stay pretty high up where A, they can see a long ways out, and B, uh, they have height advantage if another dragon does show up.
And also arguably more difficult to shoot.
Right. If they're gonna if they do end up using the ballistas, you don't want to be right down next to them.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, they land, and like I said, these dragon riders think it's a good idea to get off their fucking dragons and start just walking into the Red Keep.
Yeah, which it's twofold because A, on one hand, what else are they gonna do? Like they're just gonna keep flying around with their dragons?
Well, yeah, this should emphasize the point, and this is why I think what would be interesting is if the blacks had the dragon advantage, but the greens have the numerical army manpower advantage. So, like, that's the danger. If you want to take something, you need boots on the ground. Even in modern warfare, we got fucking jets flying around, drones and whatnot. You still kind of need real human soldiers to wage war properly if you want to take and hold anything. And so they could
I've
have.
never put together that this is actually all just an allegory for Iran.
I don't know if it's specifically Iran, but
George didn't predict Iran. I think George predicted Iran.
yeah, but like going to like well, that's the thing. I guess they don't even know if the Gold Cloaks have really switched loyalties. They just know that Allison has surrendered the city to them. But if Damon knew like the Gold Cloaks would be loyal to him, this would maybe make sense, and the Gold Cloaks can be marching with them to help. But no, we also get another bullshit spinny fight scene where Damon stabs through armor with his Valerian steel sword. Like it's a fucking lightsaber. Dead. Dead. Just stupid shit.
Yeah, and again, literally it's the same thing as the last scene where it's like walking into that castle is suicide. like and they at least acknowledge it in the throne room
Yeah.
where it's like 20 on 1.
Yeah, thank God the Kingsguard decides to have a little chit chat for some unknown reason instead of
Yeah, instead of
just
just killing
taking.
them immediately.
Yeah, taking the fucking king and queen that are right there with no fucking dragons. Just get them. Get them.
Yeah, just get them right now.
Stop wasting time. You can
Yeah.
deliver a fucking massive ass blow, taking care of their most dangerous dragon rider and the queen and the king. That's fuck.
Yeah, that would end the war.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't end the war. Well, it would because like
I mean, the blacks would lose their claim. What claim would the blacks have
I
at
mean
that point?
Rhaenyra still has her kids. Like the two eldest have died, but she has like three others.
But are people really gonna support those?
It's going to be a lot more
I don't know. This
difficult.
is all hypothetical. It doesn't really matter. The point is that this whole scene is retarded.
I mean, I can't comment too much on the books, but yeah. So the Gold Cloaks show up, and it's like, oh, the Gold Cloaks switch sides, and the Kingsguard goes like just surrenders. Like he doesn't put his sword down, but he doesn't really put up a fight. It's just like I'm not resisting arrest, but I'm not conforming to it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid. And I don't, and I
Yeah.
bet you we might not even ever see this guy again. So at least let him go down fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we really need this Kingguard to live? At least we could have maintained some of the prestige of the position.
Like, let's be honest. Have any Kingsguard members like actually been good? Like, ironically, I think the only ones are the twins.
Yeah. And they self-combusted.
Because you got this guy surrendering. You have the one Scottish actor who I'm trying to blink on his name, but he hasn't showed up again yet. Who just left? Kristen, who's let's be fair, hasn't been my first choice for a wonderful Kingsguard member. Laurent, who locks the queen in her fucking room like a child. Like, God, they're shit.
Yeah,
This
the
might be the
Kingsguard.
worst Kingsguard members I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they suck.
Anyways, they arrest all these guys and they start like searching the place for everyone. And Damon comes across the Maester, and because the Maester's black, he decides to switch to the proper team of his name.
Right.
Mhm.
Which,
But
I mean, to be fair, as a maester, fair enough, you know?
yeah, that's kind of what you're
Like,
supposed to do.
yeah, I don't have a political side. I just heal whoever's in the castle.
I'm a doctor. That's it. But we also see like Alicent and Helena like kind of sneaking away and failing. To which, like, wouldn't it have made sense to like maybe head out a bit sooner?
Yeah, the fact that Allison didn't seem to have actually prepared any sort of plan,
I mean, to be
I
fair,
guess we shouldn't be surprised at this point.
that's in character for her.
Yeah,
But anyways,
yeah, we thought they would just kind of be able to walk out.
yeah. But anyway, Maester Orwell puts Jasper up as the perfect guy to like execute with the taking of the Red Keep and whatnot. But he's not the only one, because apparently there's someone else who was locked up in this cell that we haven't seen for 6 fucking episodes, and it's probably the worst decision I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, so what was the last thing we saw Otto doing?
So, the last thing was he was chatting with Allison, and he says he's going to head to Old Town, to where his family seat is, the High Towers, and he's going to like be around and advise Garrett, the other child of Allison that we still have not met,
Hmm.
the other Dragon Rider of the Greens that we have no idea about yet. We've just seen his dragon and maybe him in passing because of that fucking rule, but we'll see. That theory. We'll see how that goes. But that was it. And then we didn't see him. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. We got that little quick cut where we saw he was captured and in a jail cell or something. But when I was watching this with someone on Discord, and they commented it like, "Oh, I bet that's Otto," and I said, "No, no, no, that's not Otto. That can't be, because it would be so fucking stupid to just have Larry's lock Otto up and we don't get 6 episodes of the best actor in the fucking show." I think the motivation for this was entirely because Otto was a wall that Alicent would have been very difficult to navigate around in her like giving up the city, especially with how poorly she did it. So they had to somehow get rid of Otto for this. And so they just had him locked up in the cells.
Yeah, and they didn't like. You don't think they could have had a scene where Allison like goes and visits him and confides in him or something? I don't know. Just lock him up and never acknowledge his existence.
And then bring him back just to kill him. Now, I heard, and I think I'm being generous with this, I heard that one of the reasons this was done was because Rice Ifans is on another show where he's actually the protagonist or the main character. So that might have, like, there might have been some scheduling issues that decided for them to, like, have no Alicent or no Rice Ifans for these next 6 fucking episodes. Which, in that case, condolences, but it's still shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
pretty
mean, we.
outlandish.
I mean, you're telling me we had to wait 2 fucking years. Well, I mean, to be fair, season two. That okay? That's not a bad. That's a different critique. But, anyways, they bring Otto out, and it's decided that Rhaenyra has to be the one to execute him
Which, why?
because she's queen, and they're mixing up northern tradition of the man who passes the sentence should swing the sword. Very much not a Valerian or Andal tradition in the south, but it is in the north, so now she has to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, how does her swinging the sword make her any more legitimate as queen?
I'm thinking this is supposed to show her as strong. Like,
At least the show's realistic enough to acknowledge that she would probably fuck it up.
yeah, like, and I'm glad the writers have held themselves back a little bit because honestly, when she was walking into the castle with Damon, I was fully prepared for her to like kill some guards herself. Like, not even in like an actual like fighting sense, but like, maybe backstab one of the guys or something like that. But they kind of held back a little bit with her because she just kind of stands there with the sword and really only kills Otto. And it's an execution, so it doesn't even count.
Yeah, and she misses the first
Yeah,
swing.
yeah. A lot of people I've noticed have been kind of really critical with her, like kind of crying, weeping, and snot dribbling. But mm, I'm more mixed on it. I don't hate it because I think it is very different to like order someone's execution than to like do it yourself with your own hands.
For sure. Or even to like, yeah, torch some people with while you're on a dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so yeah, I'm not too upset about her. Like a lot of people's like, oh, again, she's showing off as useless and crying and whatnot. I do want my characters to have some faults and moments of weaknesses. My issue isn't with a lot of the scenes of Rhaenyra having those weaknesses. My issue is that she also has no strengths. She has no redeeming qualities.
Yeah, like you want your character to have flaws, but usually you try to give them something likable about them,
Well, yeah. Well, also, I thought she had the heart of a king, and a king would have just knocked that head off, no problem, bitch. What happened to that?
right?
What happened to that speech?
Right. I thought she just had the body of a woman. And so she might suck at chopping heads off, but she should do it with confidence anyways.
Anyways, Damon takes his sword back and then just cuts Jasper's head off right before he says, "Tell my lady wife." So great. He's also an adulterous rapist. Great, fantastic. Love the character. Bye.
Yeah. Um and
I mean,
is using the throne room as an execution room not a little bit odd?
I mean, Ares the Mad King executed people in the throne room with wildfire.
Yeah.
But I will say it would arguably make more sense to imprison these guys and then like maybe execute them more
Well,
kind of like how Eddard was in the first season.
right, do like a public execution.
Mm-hmm.
I get they have a little crowd here or whatever, but
So Rhaenyra climbs up to the throne, sits down, and Alicent shows up. And Alicent seems to be very horrified and upset to see her dad dead, which, fair enough, but you were entirely expecting to sacrifice your children. Did you?
yeah, and apparently you left him rotting in a prison cell this whole time.
I'm assuming she was supposed to have no idea about him being in the cells.
That's also pretty dumb.
Like, I get it, she wasn't expecting her father to be dead or there at all. She probably thought he was off in Old Town, so she wasn't giving up his life. But Otto was one of the people who, in a way, had to die.
For sure.
Yeah, like granted, he's not really like it's different from why the children have to die because Aegon and Aemond and all the other kids have a claim to the throne. But Otto was a main conspirator of their claim. You
Not
had,
even a. I would say the.
yeah, the main conspirator, and so he had to be put down. So by giving up the war, in general, you are still dooming your father to death. That's unavoidable. So are we to believe that? So like, I mean, with how it looks, it's like, oh, is she switching sides again? Is this her 18th fucking flip flop? Now she's back to green.
Dude, they're for sure gonna do some bullshit like that. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna have her like guilt Rhaenyra, and Rhaenyra's gonna be like, "I know, I'm so sorry, I killed your dad."
Uh, it's they're going to be trauma dumping with each other, and that's going to get them all hot and bothered, and then they're going to fuck.
And then Rhaenyra's gonna rape Allison.
Did I tell you about how I saw you cut off my father's head? Rhaenyra, oh god, I'm so wet. Ugh.
Yep.
So,
So that's episode 2.
episode 10 of season 2, I'd say.
Episode 10 of season 2.
And it's, I don't like it at all. It's got, like, nothing about it's very redeeming. There's not a lot of good in it. Whereas, like, the bad is extraordinarily bad.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I can think of that I even kind of liked was Damon's scene with the soldiers.
Yep, that's kind of it. And it was a short, quick scene. But who knows? Who knows? Now that we're actually starting the next season, we're on season 3 now, because I honestly believe these episodes were pretty much like already like halfway done or something along those lines by the time it was decided that season 2 was only going to be 8 episodes instead of 10. So
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's just what they did with they just finished off those two and decided to like just make the third season 6 episodes, just not officially.
So are there only going to be 8 episodes this season?
I believe so. I'll double check, but I think there are only 8 episodes this season.
Good.
Yep, House of the Dragon season 3 will consist of 8 episodes. So the good news is we're going to have less shit to go through. But I mean, to be fair, the best season, the first season had the most episodes, so
Yeah, but really, most importantly, it means that we're a quarter of the way through.
yep. But do you have any particular final thoughts? Because I think I'm drained and I don't have much more to say. But this is just shit episode. There's not a whole lot more to be done with it.
Yeah, I think I've said my piece.
Alrighty. Well, to everyone who was able to make it this far into the recording, thank you very much. If you want to see our other reviews as the episodes come out, make sure to subscribe and share and like. Really helps in the algorithm. Until then, be safe, and I hope you all have a wonderful night.